attention to this. This has just happened. Law enforcement sources are confirming to Fox that an armed man was arrested near the Maryland home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. That happened early this morning. These are just the reports that we're getting in. And Sean, we know that the justices, there were protests outside of their homes. We know that those were encouraged. And of course, nobody was encouraging violence, but there was a great concern about violence. And thankfully, this person has been arrested. But your thoughts this morning as we get this breaking news that a armed man has been arrested near Justice Kavanaugh's home in Maryland.
Yeah, when you don't tamp down the energy of your movement, the pro-abortion movement, you encourage people to break the law and protest outside of Supreme Court justices' homes, which is breaking the law. People become radical. They do radical things, and that's when you get folks to pick up a gun and endanger the life of whether it was Steve Scalise on the baseball field or now a Supreme Court justice. Again, this is a time for Democrats to say, you know what, we may disagree with the court's potential ruling on Roe v. Wade, but you know what, we have to stand down, peacefully protest in places where we're allowed to protest. Go to the mall of the Capitol. But we don't protest and attack judges personally or their families or their homes. And I think that would be the right message from Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. But I don't see that message coming anytime soon, Dana, because they think that political pressure, that anger that's going to come towards the justices may actually move them away from this ruling that may come on Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. Sean, we're getting a little more details here. David Spunt, Bill Mears, saying the man, well, there's one report out there suggesting it was from California. That's out there. The man's name is being withheld. We're told that he's in his 20s. He was picked up on a street nearby, did not get to the Kavanaugh home, and U.S. Marshals and Montgomery County Police Department in Maryland have now responded to that. We were just doing a story yesterday, Dana, where a professor at Georgetown had tweeted about encouraging people to go to the homes of Supreme Court justices and make your voices heard. And as far as I know, Sean, that professor at Georgetown still has a job.
Yeah, no, it's insanity. But I think it's important to also note Supreme Court justices, members of Congress, don't have the kind of security that the president has or the Speaker of the House has. And so there are moments where if you have some crazed individual with a gun that wants to do a justice harm, there is opportunity for that. And that's why it's so important, again, to encourage your side to stand down. You can't have professors like this or left-wing activists saying, you know what, this is so meaningful to us, we're willing to resort to violence and guns and take one of the justices out. I mean, this is scary stuff, Bill.
Yeah, sorry, Dana. Washington Post is now reporting a bit more. When he was in custody, he shared with police his desire to kill Kavanaugh. Wow. This is according to the Post now. The individual I mentioned described, mid-20s, a man, found to be carrying at least one weapon and burglary tools. These people speaking condition of anonymity. Reading this cold, guys, sorry about that. The man apparently did not make it to the home. I mentioned that. Two people familiar with the investigation said the initial evidence indicates the man was angry about the leaked draft of an opinion by the Supreme Court with regard to overturning Roe v. Wade. So also angry over a recent spate of mass shootings, according to those who were talking with the Washington Post.
Well, it's interesting, Sean, we've been waiting. June is usually the month when you get Supreme Court decisions. And today was one of the days we were expecting some decisions. They usually are announced around 10 a.m. Well, today there was only one announced. And we know that this Roe v. Wade decision will be coming. We don't know exactly what it says, but the leak would have you assume that it's going to be overturned. But you did not get that today. And in the meantime, you have other judges who, for example, Judge Salas, who has been on our air, talking about the need for the protection of judges who are basically trying to just do their jobs. And Brett Kavanaugh and all the other Supreme Court justices, they do have armed security, and thank goodness they do. But other judges across the country, they do not. And this culture of wanting to take out grievances for something that you disagree with, even if you don't have a law degree, you don't know the Constitution. I mean, that is what is leading to a lot of this madness.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, too. You mentioned that the decision did not come out today. And I wonder if the justices are trying to make a decision if Roe v. Wade is going to be overturned. Are they working on the final draft of that decision, or are they thinking about the politics? Is it better to actually let some steam burn off with this decision out there before they actually release their opinion? Or do they think it was better to release it earlier? I have to imagine they think that letting it sit out there without a decision is better for the American people, and the violence that'll come to probably release this later in the month. But you're right. I mean, to pick up guns, again, come from California. Because you're mad about gun violence, Dana, I'm mad about mass shootings, so I'm going to take a gun and go after a Supreme Court justice. Again, the lights and sirens are on for Democrats to get their side to stand down, to be clear about protesting. Your First Amendment rights exist, but the peaceful nature, and stay away from the judges. Don't try to influence the judges' decisions.
And that
on your
investigation
anger and your protest.
into that leak is continuing and apparently very much heating up. And you have a lot of the law clerks there apparently upset that their rights might be violated when you have this situation as a result. Thank you so much. Stand by, Sean. We appreciate you